With a piece in my hand and bloodshot eyes, I walked to the water for a last goodbye. He begged so much, it clouded my mind.
And I saw a deer in the woods. It was like a magnet to the front of my truck.
Right, so he said when he held all the keys over our head. I lived in that grip, but now he'll learn at the end.
Oh, this is where it gets good, Frankie. When we're towing my busted up truck there, the chain's let loose and the truck smashes into the back of the tow truck.
Down the river where the kids can't find a red-handed.
Lucky you got a headache, Rat, because we would have had one heck of a headache. Guys, some of you younger viewers, don't watch this. This is not gonna be pretty, you guys. Alright guys, sometimes life is way stranger than fiction, and if I wasn't there on this journey, I would have never believed it, and luckily I had my camera. The story starts out, I was just driving a trailer full of attachments up to northern Minnesota, up by Canada, and everything kind of went south from there. So without wasting more time, let's get into it.
That body by the riverbank, caught a boat south, took off like a hurricane.
Alright you guys, all of this has to go back up to almost Canada. I've got a 5-hour drive one way. Everything is strapped down, tight as a drum. Alright you guys, last night was not fun. I was driving down the road and I saw a deer in the woods and it was running. It was like a magnet to the front of my truck. I'm flashing my lights, honking my horn. I'm swerving, slamming on the brakes, and this thing ran right into my truck. If I was sitting still and not moving at all, this deer would have still probably smacked directly into me. There was no way I was going to escape this deer, and it made sure of it, because as I'm driving down the road, the deer comes out and then aims at me. So I steer over and the deer moves over. The more I'm honking and flashing and slamming on the brakes, the more the deer starts gunning for me, because then I move back over and what does the deer do? It moves right over, and then at the very last moment I swerved. And now remember guys, I can't swerve very much. I've got this trailer full of tools and attachments on, and my back of my mind I'm like, oh please don't break free, oh please don't break free, because I knew what would happen if those things went sailing off from that trailer. Not only would the deer be gone, but Dirt Monkey would be gone. Look at this truck. I think she might be totaled. Oh, look at, there's a little meat left. Oh my gosh. Airbags deflated, so, I mean, I went from 70 miles an hour down to 6. That's tranny fluid. That's what happens when you sleep in your truck last night. I'm in this parking lot, and I was freezing cold. Look at this thing. She just blew up in my face. So Frankie was asking me what happened last night. So the story goes, I hit the deer on this road, and I wasn't gonna sleep on the side of the road, right? The truck fired back up, so I turned it around and I seen there was a little town just behind me, about a mile south of where I was at. So I pulled into town and I found the first parking lot that I could find, just the first spot I could pull the truck and trailer over where I wasn't on a road, right? Yeah. Because I had no radiator fluid, the truck was leaking oil all over, and I knew I was not driving it anymore. And I'm looking for so I get on the phone on the phone last night, start looking for a repair shop that can fix it, and I realized I'm actually in the parking lot of a repair shop. So and then I start to go, and then the name of the repair shop is OK Tire and Bait. Not Great Tire and Bait. Okay. OK Tire and Bait. So I started looking up reviews on these guys, and they got 48 reviews, and their average is 4.8 stars out of 5. I'm like, I think I found my place. But let's walk around and see how bad this is. It looks like, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna need a front fender for sure. The entire insides are just, I got deer hair all in here. I think I don't know how well she's gonna hold up. There's deer fur under there. Oh, you can see hair everywhere. So that deer did roll underneath here. Look at this. There's deer hair all covering my trailer. That's deer hair. If you look on the tires, that's from the deer. And I want to show you guys something testimonial to shock straps. I think shock straps may have saved my life, because when I was driving down the road, going from 70 to almost a dead stop from colliding with the deer, none of this stuff on this trailer moved. And this is not light stuff. I mean, this is a stump puller for a skid loader. It's a prototype, but this thing's got to weigh 2,000 pounds right there. Just this thing right here. Here's the strap. Look at, I have not touched these straps. Look at this thing. It's still tight as a drum. Still tight as a drum. Watch this. If those straps had snapped loose, that thing would have catapulted and right into the back of my truck and taken me out. And in fact, that actually did happen to my buddy's son. He took a truck and it went into a ditch. And the unfortunate truth is he had a TV in the back of his truck, and crashing into the ditch didn't end him. But when the TV went from the back of the truck through the back of the cab, unfortunately, he passed away. As soon as I collided with that deer and the airbags went off, one of the things I noticed is the truck went into this kind of emergency mode. The flashers automatically went off. The horn started beeping over and over again, and the truck instantly slowed down, not just from the collision, but it seemed like the truck itself just put the brakes on, and then it kept running just enough to allow me to get over to the side of the road safely, and then I turned the truck off. It was like all of a sudden the entire truck just sensed that an impact happened, and it took over and went into this emergency response mode that I've never experienced before. So if you guys have ever seen anything like that or experienced something like that, I would love to hear from you to find out. Now that's on a Ford, and I know some of you guys run Dodge, Chevys, and GMCs and Toyotas. So if you have any experience, will you put that in the comments down below? Because I'd love to hear from you guys. The deer? Well, you might see bits of hamburger on the highway.
You might actually get that one totaled. That one's pretty good.
Yeah, that one, I'm Stan, by the way.
Tristan.
Tristan?
Yep, Tristan.
Nice to meet you, Tristan. You work here at OK Tire and Bait?
Yep, this one, you might have actually bent that frame a little bit, that subframe, and they might actually total it. Well, maybe not. That's a good one.
Airbags deployed.
Yeah, they'll total it.
So you think so, just because the airbags deployed?
Yeah. They don't like that airbag stuff.
Yeah, they don't, do they?
Buck. Little buck, he had button.
Yep.
He had, starting to grow some antlers.
Mm-hmm.
Was he pretty beat up?
What?
Was he pretty beat up?
After I got pulled over, a semi pulled over in front of me about 10-15 minutes later, and he's like, "Did you see what was left of that deer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I took out the first part of it." And the semi's like, "But after I was done hitting it, it wasn't even hamburger left."
Oh, did you semi hit it too?
Yeah, semi hit it right after me, so that thing is, there's nothing left of that deer. And this day just keeps getting more interesting. Watch the positioning of this truck on the flatbed, because when we get to our destination, I'm going to tell you right now, the truck is not in this same position.
Oh,
Oh, and then when I'm towing it there, oh, this is where it gets good, Frankie. When we're towing my busted up truck there, the chains let loose, so it's on a flatbed. The chains let loose and the truck smashes into the back of the tow truck while we're in it. I'm just like, it just I can't make this stuff up. I just can't make it up. And that's why you want a headache rack, you guys. We were driving the tow truck down the road and the chains on the truck came loose. I don't think my truck is meant to survive this trip. And slammed into the back of the cab. I was telling the guy, lucky you got a headache rack, because we would have had one heck of a headache. Those chains just came loose. Can't make the truck any worse. I'm just waiting for my truck to fall off the back of that thing. You guys, some of you younger viewers, don't watch this. This is not gonna be pretty, you guys. This is parts of my truck we're driving over. I would love to show you what was left of this deer, you guys, but it's actually pretty disturbing and I just don't want to upset some of the more sensitive viewers. So let me just kind of walk you through what was there. It started out as about a 170-pound young buck, but what was left was about 35 pounds of skin. That was it. There was no rib cage, there was no skeleton, there was nothing left inside of the deer except for something that you could pick up and put in a 5-gallon can. It just disintegrated. It was gone. There was nothing, no skeleton. Like the entire skeletal system disappeared. Just poof. I was just saying, we started the trip with a white truck, Shane, and we finished the trip with a black truck.
No venison on this one?
No venison on this one. So Frankie ended up grabbing the Dodge and coming up and saving my butt. I ended up sleeping in the parking lot inside that Ford. And I'll tell you, sleeping in a Ford truck is not very comfortable. Their seats don't lay back. And then it got so cold that night and I couldn't turn the truck on, so I had no heat. Right? And I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so there isn't an Uber, and I have no clue what's around me. I just pulled into a parking lot, and there's no heat because the truck basically has no radiator fluid, and I don't know if it's got engine oil, so I'm not going to start it and run it. And I was freezing my butt off. I was more afraid of freezing at night than I was of actually after I hit the deer. So I ended up grabbing my backpack and putting it over the top of me and sitting inside of it to conserve heat. Yeah. Oh, good times, good times. I want to hear your guys' stories. Those are the best stories. So tell me your stories of the adventures you guys have, because those things are awesome. In the comments down below. God bless you guys. Go get them. And I hope you enjoyed my story today. Glad I was able to walk away uninjured. But while you're here, do me a favor. Check out these videos right here, you guys. God bless and go get them.